Hey, Grant, great to be with you.
Well, it's good to see you, Alexis. I am maybe almost shocked you found Democrats to talk in a way they don't want Zohran Mamdani. Is that right?
You're right. And I saw what you said right before I came on, and I completely agree with you, Grant, that it's refreshing to see Democrats speaking like Democrats from however many years ago when we could have a conversation about how to best treat America and American citizens. Calling them leftists and progressives is, that's a starting point for a conversation.
All right, let me play another clip because I found it fascinating, this video. This is a legal immigrant New Yorker talking about New York sanctuary city policies.
Thank God, God bless America. Air is definitely free in the United States. But driving license is a privilege, not a right. You screw up, they take it away from you.
Yes.
And I think that's exactly what's happening here. What mayor and a sanctuary city has tried to do, he hypothetically may have had some great idea that it could work on a paper, but in reality, it does not work.
Alexis, what was the goal of the American Border Story going out and producing this video? Maybe I ask you, what was the goal? And then tell me, what was your takeaway?
Yeah, so the American Border Story's goal of this was to show that people who are legal immigrants, have these thoughts that American citizens by birth have. They did it the right way. They had to work really hard. My grandparents are legal immigrants. They had to work really hard to get to this country and go through the process, again, the right way. And looking at their perspective, from their perspective to illegal immigrants, and the fact that these people are not only jumping the line, but ruining the place that they worked so hard to get to, is mind-blowing for them. And that's a leftist argument that we hear a lot, Grant, is that, American citizens or Republicans just don't want immigrants, or, this is a cleansing of sorts, or they try to say all these things that are completely untrue. And what the American Border Story aims to do in its agenda anyway is to tell these stories in a way that are palatable to people, that they can digest. And even maybe like the woman the clip that you played previously that we produced, she can see, someone like her who's a more classic Democrat can see that these leftist and progressive policies they're not actionable policies for the American citizen. They're all for progressive agenda. They're all for the next election, for the fundraising zing that the leftists want, but they're not actually for the people who are on the streets, who love the city. And I think that from this, my takeaway is that, there are people that are reasonable. There are people who walk New York City streets every day who maybe are Democrats, but they're not happy that Zohran Mamdani is probably the choice for the New York City mayor.
One of the things I noticed when I watched this video, look, if I made a video like this, I'm smashing in the face with it, right? I'm very partisan. I'm unapologetic about that. It is what it is. But this, I think, could appeal to almost anybody because it was just kind of straight down the road of letting you hear how people are thinking. Was that by design, Alexis?
Yeah, we want to tell stories in a way that displays the true empathy of the humanitarian crisis of illegal immigration and the angel families it affects, the drug crisis that it creates. The victims here are not the illegal immigrants that have to go home, and I want to emphasize home, back to their home country because they came here illegally. The victims here are the American citizens that have suffered because of these horrible leftist policies. And the way that you do that is to tell stories. The way that we connect with people is to talk about things and to have people understand. Continuing the conversation truly is the centerfold of what we want to do here at the American Border Story. I mean, you can hit people with facts, which those are things that affect me too. 64% of federal arrests are of illegal immigrants. That is a fact. Democrats won't hear that, or I should say leftists won't hear that. You have the government shut down right now, but leftists in our government, elected officials, are fighting for illegal immigrants to have, health care or for money to go to some far off country that we don't know. Illegal immigrants cost the American citizen $132 billion every single year. That is taxpayer money that could be going to other things. Federal employees aren't getting paid right now, aside from of course, the wonderful things that the president has figured out on how to get people paid. But you have Americans and American citizens suffering. But sometimes leftists won't hear that. And you have to show the middle ground in a story form for them to be able to understand it.
I think you did a good job doing this, you and your group, and I appreciate you sharing it with us. Let's hope it makes a difference in New York and Mamdani gets pushed back. I just don't know who the other option is. I wish Curtis Lewa could win. I don't see it happening. Cuomo scares me to death. So New York is going to be in a very, very tough spot. But I appreciate the work that you're doing, Alexis Wilkins. Thank you for coming on the program tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.